Alright, so the other day in my Discord, there was a discussion going on about the idea of an Arcana-based Bravely job, and the surprising lack thereof won so far. You know, those cards fortune tellers use to tell your future?
A happy lover card. It shows you have experienced the joys of love. However, this card is upside down, which means your romance ended in tragedy.
Those things that the Persona games use to characterize social links? I wouldn't know anything about that. I've never played any of them. So being the shitty little horse beater that I am, I decided to make a joke about how the Arcana is the means by which all is revealed. For the uninitiated out there, the final boss of Persona 3 is Nyx Avatar, basically the embodiment of death, and it repeats that line to the party about 14 times over the course of its fight while it lectures you on the nature of life and death. And anyway, anybody else think it's weird how similar Nyx Avatar and the Knight's Nexus look? It's probably nothing. No need to read too much into that, methinks. Anyways, made that reference because despite not playing a Persona game, I have this weird fixation on Nyx and just Persona 3 in general because it both tempts and repulses me towards playing it. Don't know why. But then one member said that if I made a whole job focused around that boss fight, they'd lose it. And I took that as a challenge. So I did some light research into the actual details of the Nyx boss fight, as well as the game as a whole, threw together a job concept, shared it in the chat, and after some revisions made based on the feedback of actual Persona fans, I feel pretty good about the job and about sharing it with all of you, since I think it's fair to assume there's probably a few more Persona fans among you. So come, let us unveil the EVOKER. After you like and subscribe. It helps more than you can imagine. Please and thank you. Death is a very important aspect of Persona 3. It's the main theme that everything in the game seems to revolve around, and so I felt that I needed to reflect that in the job. Now, initially, I was already having concerns that I was gonna create another Ghost Mage scenario again, but I refuse to let you lot get your grubby little spam hands on that. So instead, I decided to be a lot more careful. Specialty 1 is the Journey. If you would enter the KO state, excluding Doom, you instead gain Invoked status. While invoked, you may use certain Evoker abilities. You still consume MP this way. This way, we aren't taking red mage spells into invoked mode and just abusing the boss. You are still considered KO'd here, so if the rest of your party goes down while you are invoked, this will result in a game over. Upon revival, gain a 5% stat buff to one random stat for 2 turns. So what's the purpose of introducing Ghost Status 2.0? Well, because I wanted death to play an important role here, I made it so the Evoker abilities change depending on whether you're alive or invoked. But we'll get to those in a bit. Now we have to address the other theme of the job, the Major Arcana. It wouldn't really be doing the Arcana justice if I just stole the names of the cards and didn't incorporate any form of fortune telling, now would it? Specialty 2, all is revealed. While invoked, you are given hints of the enemy's future action. A swirling whirlpool effect covers the enemy, and the color/text tells what form of action they will most likely take next turn, chance of correctness being based on luck. Orange means a physical attack is likely incoming, purple is magic attack, green for recovery, blue for defensive actions or defaulting, and red means braving. The special move of the Evoker is Mass Destruction. Adjust all allies' HP so that they are exactly 50% of their max HP. Downed allies are revived to this amount as well. Deal the amount of health lost or gained for all allies as magic damage to all enemies. It also buffs physical attack by 10% and magic attack by 20%. With the overhead out of the way, let's get into the meat of the class, the Arcana-based abilities. Level 1 Magician. Deal moderate fire damage to a target. If invoked, reduce a target's fire resistance by 1 tier for 2 turns. If they are already at the lowest tier possible, reduce their magic defense by 5% instead. Level 2 Priestess. Gain a 3% increase to magic defense for each ally that's currently alive, then massively increase your chance of being targeted. Invoked ability, gain a hint about target enemy's next action with the reading's accuracy based on your luck. If all is revealed as active, the reading's accuracy is guaranteed. Level 3, Empress. deal moderate water damage to a target. Invoked, reduce a target's water resistance by 1 tier for 2 turns. If they are already at the lowest tier possible, reduce their magic defense by 5% instead. Level 4, Emperor, deal moderate lightning damage to a target. Invoked, reduce a target's lightning resistance by 1 tier for 2 turns. If they're already at the lowest tier possible, reduce their magic defense by 5% instead. Level 5, Hierophant, the first passive for 1 slot. Whenever you use an Evoker ability to reduce a target's elemental resistance, the next instance of damage that target takes from an ally is 5% more likely to be a critical hit. Level 6, another passive for 2 slots, the Lovers. Whenever you deal magic damage to an enemy, heal all allies for 5 times the MP cost of the ability. Level 7, Chariot, another passive for 1 slot. Dealing damage to an enemy's weakness increases your speed by 3% for 2 turns. Level 8, Justice. Deal moderate light damage to a target, has a chance to inflict blind. Invoked, reduce a target's light resistance by 1 tier for 2 turns. If they are already at the lowest tier possible, reduce their magic defense by 5% instead. Level 9, Hermit. Drain an amount of target enemy's MP. If you hit or exceed your max MP this way, while invoked, you will be revived. Level 10, Fortune. Mark a target to take magic damage of a random element at the end of the next 3 turns. Invoked, remove all elemental impairments from target and deal damage for each type of status effect removed. Level 11, Strength, our final passive for 2 slots. Whenever you reduce an enemy's magic defense with an ability while invoked, you also reduce their physical defense by 5%. Level 12, Hanged Man. Deal moderate dark damage to a target. Has a chance to inflict contagion. Invoked, reduce a target's dark resistance by 1 tier for 2 turns. If they're already at the lowest tier possible, reduce their magic defense by 5% instead. Level 13, Death. For 1 BP, reduce your HP to 0 and enter invoked status. Deal the amount of HP lost to target enemy as magic damage. Invoked, reduce target's magic defense by 10%. If the target is already at the lowest stat reduction possible, minus 35%, deal immense dark magic damage to them. Level 14, Dark Hour. Reduce your physical and magic defense by 15% each, and increase your magic attack by 15% for 2 turns. If it is night, double its duration. And finally, level 15, The Answer. For 2 BP, reduce your HP to 0 and enter KO state, ignoring the journey, to give all other allies immunity to death and instant death effects until your next turn. If they would enter KO state, they remain at 1 HP instead. So as you can see, the Evoker is a supportive mage class that both debuffs and does damage, while remaining active at all stages of a fight. I tried as best I could to condense the theming of each of Nyx's phases into each ability, and I feel like it's worked out pretty well. Priestess and Empress were mixed up from their original forms of just being water and wind damage based on some feedback, and honestly, I'm really happy that got called out because the current Priestess is super fun. And yes, I know the answer should technically be named Great Seal, but I think its current name is way cooler than that, and I like the duality between it and the journey. Overall, I feel like the class would be fairly strong, although it kind of dictates itself as a main job and feels less effective or adaptable as a sub-job. I also didn't want All Is Revealed to be overwhelmingly powerful, because if you know exactly what a boss is going to do, it's very easy to prepare for that, especially in Bravely. Boss AI has a habit already of falling into predictable loops when they hit certain BP thresholds consistently, so I wanted to keep it mildly vague, but also make use of that luck stat so the future has a chance to be wrong. Plus, you can use Priestess to confirm the reading, so there's that. That pretty much covers the Evoker. Now I want your answer. What do you think of this custom job, and should I try doing Persona content on the channel? I've always wanted to play Persona 5, I already own P4 Golden, and now I'm feeling the temptation for P3, likely the FES version. I said this year I wanted to start expanding my content, and I intend on doing it. My last video is a prime example of that. If you haven't seen my City of Oz video, please check it out after this. I'm extremely proud of how it came out, and I've been getting amazing feedback on the video from those who've seen it, and I'd love to make more content like that in the future if people really enjoy it. Otherwise, thanks for watching, have a good one, and I'll see you soon.